Alright, let's do this one last time. You know the story of Miles Morales by now. We've seen him become Brooklyn's one and only Spider-Man. We've seen him go head to head with Kingpin. We've seen him make some new friends along the way. And most importantly, he saved the multiverse. Or did he? In the newest film, Across the Spider-Verse, we find out after the Collider event from the first film that the multiverse is in disarray. Villains like Renaissance Vulture, who was transported into Gwen's Earth 65, are becoming a problem for the multiverse, and it's up to one man to get everything back in order: Miguel O'Hara. After discovering an alternate reality where he had a daughter, he took the place of his alternate self after the previous one had died. But once he did, the universe started to crumble. Miguel was not able to protect the ones he loved. Now, he's left scarred following that event and makes it his mission to not allow any universe's respective heroes to alternate their intended path and make sure they don't break the canon. He created a citadel of spider people to aid him in returning many individuals to their dimension, like the previous mentioned Vulture following the Collider event. Our hero, Miles Morales, was getting accustomed to being a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man when another villain of the week showed up. But this wasn't just another villain. After being trapped in his spot dimension, the Spot learns that his holes are able to transport him to other universes. In order to exploit this power, all he needs is a little more power from a mini collider. It was up to Gwen to stop him, but she let him get away when she decided to visit Miles after being instructed not to from Miguel and Jessica Drew. Gwen is given one last chance and is sent to the next dimension, Mumbattan. While Miles decides to follow her without her knowledge, everyone eventually finds out Miles joined, and after meeting a few more Spider-Man variants like Spider-Punk and Spider-Man India, he starts to wonder why he's never been invited to the Spider Society. And after disrupting a canon event on Mumbattan, that mistake brings Miles face to face with Spider-Man 2099. Miguel explains to him the idea behind the Spider Society and canon events. Then suddenly, Miles starts having visions of events yet to come, such as his dad being crushed by a building after saving a child. Miguel explains to Miles his vision is a canon event that will happen very soon. Miles doesn't like the idea of these events having to happen in the timeline of all the spider people, so he decides he's going home to save his dad. After an amazing chase sequence between Miguel and Miles through Nueva York, Miguel finally tells Miles that the spider that bit him wasn't supposed to happen and another universe doesn't have a Spider-Man because of him, and tells him that he's the original anomaly. Miles decides to take his fate into his own hands and uses the Go Home machine to go home. But what he doesn't know is the machine scanned the DNA of the spider that bit him and sent him to Earth 42, a dimension with no Spider-Man. In this world, he learns his dad is dead and his uncle is still alive, but he isn't the Prowler. It's later revealed that in this dimension, Miles Morales is the Prowler. Gwen figures out Miles is trapped in the wrong dimension and decides she needs the help of some friends, including some old friends. Now her and her new band must find Miles and help bring him home. So, what happens next? We know Miguel O'Hara will stop at nothing to protect the fabric of the arachno-humanoid polymultiverse, so once he finds out Miles is in another dimension, he will travel to Earth 42 and will see the result of a world with no Spider-Man. There, we will see the new Miles Morales, aka the Prowler. He will allow the Prowler to eliminate Miles and wipe him from existence, so Miguel wouldn't have to worry about the canon event Miles would soon cause. But before any of that would happen, a portal opens up and we will see the arrival of Gwen and her friends, ready to save Miles and stop Miguel. Prowler Miles will learn of his fate that didn't happen and will take one of the dimensional travel watches from either Miguel or Gwen and will travel the multiverse in search of a spider to bite him. Miguel will tell our Miles to stay out of this and will go on his own to hunt him down. Miles Morales will try to find Miles Prowler and will try to find the good in him. He'll believe he can change for the better. Throughout the film, we will see them traverse through the multiverse in hopes Miles Prowler hasn't done substantial damage. A theory I saw floating around online that I agree with as well and can build off of my theory is Miles Prowler eventually becoming a good-hearted Spider-Man and saving our Miles Morales' dad. This shouldn't disrupt the canon since Earth 42 Miles' dad is already dead. It is a pretty good theory, so we'll see, But to build off of this even more, I believe the spy will be furious since his plan didn't come into fruition and instead will kill Miles' mom. Miles and friends will team up and avenge the death of Rio by finally defeating the spy. On his way out, he will cause a multi-dimensional explosion that will affect the multiverse forever, thus sending everyone in every dimensional direction. But most importantly, sending Miles into live action. Miles will stop at nothing to achieve multi-dimensional travel once again, and in the meantime be introduced to the many villains of the Sonyverse, and maybe even team up with one of the Spider-Men. Depending what multiverse Sony decides to put him in, we can see the live-action Sony iterations of villains like the Hobgoblin, maybe a rendition of Aaron Davis as the Iron Spider, or maybe even the return of Jake Gyllenhaal's Mysterio as a way to set up the upcoming Sinister Six appearance for Tom Holland's next movie. In the meantime, Miguel O'Hara will make it his life mission to find and eliminate Miles for making everything worse, and we could eventually see him in live action as well. As for the many friends of Miles, we could see them get their own spin-off movies or streaming shows about their origins or their current state in the multiverse. Keep in mind, these are very early predictions, so for now, we can only speculate. I plan to do another prediction video once we get closer to launch or we get some new information, so feel free to leave your theories in the comments below, and as always, thanks for watching.